If they do that, they're going to be very, 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 very tough to beat.
Wilson! Oh! And we are tied!
Let's go!
Call the prize slammer jammer.
And I don't ever let them forget where we come from.
Getting those phones out before me acting ignorant.
Dayon Kris got his way through, and he may go! Kris is in! Houston leads out of nowhere! Seventh heaven for Houston. The Cougars advance to their seventh Final Four. Go Cougs! Let's go! It's so good! The dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars!
Welcome into another edition of Let's Rage Coogs presented by the Saxenian family. A big thank you to Star Pizza as well. We're coming off Houston's big win over Auburn. They get their payback from a season ago, and they go into Birmingham and defeat the Tigers 73-72. It was shaky, it was scary down in the moment, but ultimately Houston did enough plays to win. And we got to start with Kingston Flemings, who offensively, the freshmen in that first half, they carried on offense Houston that first half, and down the stretch, really more impressive, the confidence that the coaching staff, Kelvin Sampson, the coaching staff, has in this young man. They put him onto Hot Pettiford down the stretch, down one. That's your assignment. Guard him. And Kingston Flemings did really, really well, shutting him down, making his life hard, and got the assist from Sacco with the big block as well. Let's talk about this big win for Houston. Joining me, Dayon Dunlap and Kris Gardner right on cue. Let's add you to the screen here. What a win for Houston. Down the stretch, obviously a lot to be desired in terms of how they close, but ultimately a win's a win against a top 25 team, and the number one Houston Cougars get some payback from last season.
The ending wasn't great, was not ideal. Guys were tentative, turnovers down the stretch, but they escaped with the win. We can discuss all the fouls that were called on the Cougs and not on Auburn, things like that. But for a game in November, I think it was a good learning experience. It was fun. Yeah. And it's a win. On to the next.
Yeah, good dubs, man. I think it's good to have this type of competitive game down the stretch, especially I'm glad it was tight down the stretch, so coach can kind of coach up on who he wants the ball in whose hands, and they can kind of get familiar with who's the go-to guy. But I really like what I've seen freshmen, like Fluff said in the last show. I mean, it was time for some furniture moving, and we definitely saw some furniture moving going on. And the two freshmen stepped up big. I mean, off the start of the game, I know instantly going right into Chris Senack versus the first two games he was throwing it in down low to JoJo. And so big game for Kingston, man. Big game for Kingston, especially down the stretch. Got the first block on Pettiford, and then got assisted by Flacco, who got the next block. And then he got another deflection, which put it at that corner, which made it tough for the inbounder. So he definitely stepped up big on both ends.
The IQ from all the freshmen as well. Isaiah Harwell, after that block from Sacco, he saved the ball and wasted almost 2 more seconds left on the clock. Because that ball would have gone out of bounds, and Auburn would have still had almost 3 seconds left.
And, of course, big fella Chris Senack came through. He had a rolling before the foul trouble, took him out of the game with the 5 fouls. I'm going to go kind of different than I saw. Who was the comment? Was it CA37? Who was it? Crabtree. Down the stretch, the defense came through. But I think potentially the ceiling for the offense is higher than the ceiling for the defense. The defense is going to be solid and rotating, all kind of stuff. But I think with Senack, Kingston Flemings, Harwell coming along, at some point, this team's going to convert what Dayon has wanted to see for 2 years. They're going to convert those defensive stops and steals and things like that into easy buckets. So I think the potential offensively is much higher for this team because they're not making threes right now. They're getting a lot of good looks from three, and they're not falling. And they're still winning games. So I think that's a positive. I'm going to take out of this one.
Yeah, good point.
Go ahead, Dan.
No, nice. No, good point, Chris. And I think I definitely agree. I think with games like this, roles, and as the season continues on, roles will be a little bit more defined. I think we see who our one and two options will be. I think, of course, it'll be game to game. And Marlo has shown that he can make big time shots in big situations. And with his experience, he can still put the ball in his hands. Because down the stretch, uh, Kingston had the mismatch and still just wasn't aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think that's something that'll be coached up. And when you got that mismatch, being able to recognize that and make the right play. But I think the offense it's Rose. It's the fun. It's only game three, and so I definitely agree with you. I think I think I just looked at it a second ago. I think we had like 13 points off their turnovers, and I think we could play a little bit more faster in transition. And I think that'll help us, especially when we get those turnovers, because the defense, like Christian said, it's going to be what it is. And I think it'll be really good because of the length and the athleticism that we have. But I'm really impressed with this team. I think Emmanuel, he played well too. He made a couple of key buckets that wasn't just catch and shoot off the dribble. He made some good buckets, and so it was a well rounded win. I think if CNAC doesn't foul out, Sinak doesn't foul out, I think we win comfortably.
Let's look at the final stats from this game. Houston shot 43% from the field. You're exactly right, Dan. They had 13 points off of turnovers.
Stop right there, Andy.
Kingston,
Stop right there. Stop right there. They had 11 points off turnovers in the first half. So they only got 2 off those in the second half. So, yeah. Go ahead now. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Second chance points. Well, for Houston, they had 11, only 5 bench points. Kingston Fleming led the way in scoring for Houston, 22 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, did have 4 turnovers. Some of them came down the stretch. Like you guys mentioned, seemed like there was a lot of indecisiveness when it was in the final minute. Chris Sinak, 18 points, 9 rebounds, fouled out of the game. Milos Uzan had 11 points. He hit a couple of big shots down the stretch before they got into the kind of 2-minute offense. Emmanuel Sharp, 13 points, 5 of 15 shooting. JoJo Tugler, again, really got limited when it came to foul trouble and had a lot of early misses in this game. He finished with 4 points, 7 rebounds, and then Isaiah Harwell, 5 points and 3 rebounds for Houston. You mentioned, Chris, one of the just whenever the shots start falling for Houston, one of the players who's gonna eventually have his shot start falling, that's Chase McCarty. He keeps getting a lot of open threes, and he just hasn't been able to see one or many go through early on this season.
And, I mean, the corner three is probably what the coaches really want him to take in the offense. He's had them. They haven't fallen. They rimmed in and out. You know, he told us, I think I was other people around media when he told me this in July, that Kellen Sampson set a goal for him to lead the conference in corner 3-point percentage. Well, he's got to start knocking those down. I mean, the team, both teams, I think, made only 7 threes today. So neither team shot well from 3. But this was a hell of a game. It was fun. It was competitive. Great atmosphere. Salute to my man Rossi and the people at United Sports Entertainment for putting on the Battleground 2K. Again, I think it went well. I hope there will be some post-game comments from both coaches so we can hear that and get perspective from what both Coach Pearl and Coach Sampson thought of the game. But let's see. Fouls, Houston, 23. 13 in the second half. Auburn, 14 total. 4 in the second half. So, a lot of those were legit, but not all. I'll just put it like that. Not all.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but I kind of like the way the game was called. I definitely think the foul. I didn't see anything like, oh, that wasn't a foul. So um, I think it was called okay. I think it was called okay. I'm just like you were just saying with McCartney. Coach Samp said he was one of the best shooters. He put high emphasis on him
Yep.
being able to shoot like LJ, and I haven't seen it. I know it's only 3 games in, but he has wide open corner three, and that's the easiest 3 in basketball. And so, I mean, when you get the Jose say he's one of the best shooters that he's had. I mean, we talking about Armani Brooks, we talking about LJ Choir, we talking about some real deal shooters, and Armani would have been close. But it's game 3. He definitely got to start knocking those down because he's going to get those shots. And I think with him on the floor, you have to explore spaces And so with him maybe struggling through the first 3 games, shooting that three, maybe teams will try to leave him open because of the way Kingston can get downhill, Milos can get downhill, and even Manuel showing today that he's willing to put the ball on the floor and make some shots off the dribble. So I'm still very very high on the team. I think I'm definitely want to see him start knocking those shots down because it's wide open, easy shots. What not easy shots, but the easiest three in basketball, corner three. So you got to make those. Derrick Rose, and no, I wouldn't go that far. And no. We can't
I
say
do
that.
want to shout
We
out
can't say
Giovanni
that.
for the super sticker, $4.99. He has high praise for Kingston Flemings. I think the thing I was most impressed about Flemings and offensively in that first half is that he was very, very in control, calm, and he was able to get to the spots that he wanted to. And it never seemed like the defense was forcing him into
Mhm.
anything. He was pulling up for the mid range. He's taking his shots when he's open. He can get to the rim, and that's impressive considering this is barely his fourth game in college basketball, and he looked like a vet in that in that first half, getting to his spots and just never seeming rushed.
Like
He
a real
was
floor general.
Yeah,
he was more decisive in the first half than he was in the second half. So I think he's got to find a balance. Coach Sampson and the staff do to where Kingston and Milos can shine in the same game. Take their turns, but be decisive at all times, but be smart with the basketball as well. Because they had only 10 turnovers total, but 7 of them were in the second half. And I'm sure Coach Sampson's not going to like that at all. And 3 of them were down in the last 3 minutes. So he won't like that at all either. But it's November 16th. Learn from it and get better. Win Thursday and then get ready for Vegas next Sunday.
Yeah, Kingston was that a lot more decisive in that first half, and really like a floor general who looked like a pro,
Yep.
and just taking the shots that was there, getting to his mid range, using his speed, punch dribble to make the defender react, then pulling up. And so, but then in that second half, I mean, he really was letting the game come to him. I think that was the most impressive. And I think for Milos, he just has to. Um, he's just when I'm watching him this game, he made some good shots down the stretch and played better than second half. But I think he has to be. He just doesn't look as natural with the ball in his hands as Kingston. That's probably what I should say. And knowing where he want to get his shots and some of things like that. But I thankfully think those two on the floor well because in times I was watching, especially in that second half, it was one of the times where I mean Milo's like, give me the ball, and late in the game, and he was able to get us into a good side. I can't remember if we turned it over or what happened, but I definitely want them both of them on the floor together. And Hartwell looked like he looked healthy today. He
Mm-hmm.
looked bouncy. His shots looked really well. I think I can see him taking off here real soon as he continues to get more comfortable. Chris Cenac though, man, hey, be a beast. I think somebody said something about low court scoring as a concerning, in which that was our low court scoring. He called it a mid post. It's not necessarily back your man down, old school basketball from J1. He's a much better offensive player than J1, where he can face up, he can back you down and turn and fade, and he can stretch the floor from a stretch forward. And so, I mean, that pick and roll and pick and pop with him on the floor is going to be very, very efficient. I think JoJo still needs to continue to work because, especially when diving to the basket, he got to have that diving floater or jump shot. He got to be able to make that at a high clip.
And it's going back to the comment a few minutes ago about the offense getting better, being higher ceiling for the defense. Coach Sampson played his three of his freshmen, well, 3 because Bryce is probably going to redshirt. 3 freshmen together on the court, but with them and Sakos on the floor, you could see them thinking defensively rather than reacting defensively.
For me, it was more Sacco.
Well, I expect that from him because, But Chris Cenac, Kingston talked to Chris a few times about not rotating at the right time, being out of position. So he's got to do better on that as well. But again, this is game 4 for all of them. The freshman and Sacco learning Kelvin Sampson, Houston Cougar defense. So once they get that, man.
Yeah, there was a moment on the final basket that Auburn scored where somebody missed a rotation because Sacco went to double team on the opposite post, and they left Murphy wide open, and he got that dunk, and that's what cut it to 1.
Yeah, so they weren't on the same page. So I don't know if he should have doubled because he went to double.
He
The
just
rotation wasn't
absolutely
there.
left his man wide open.
He just left him.
Yeah.
Like the rotation was expected, and it wasn't. So they got to get on the same page with that. But it's interesting how people back-to-back comments. One person says disappointed in Sacco. Another person says very impressed with Sacco. Sacco's job
with Sacco with the last he made
is
up for it with
to defend and rebound. It's interesting to me. His hands seem better to rebound than to catch a pass.
Yeah.
Because when he catches the pass on Kingston, Emmanuel, Milo, start throwing a bounce pass, a lob, whatever, he fumbles it. But when it comes to getting rebound, he was much more aggressive, snaring secure rebounds today.
Yeah, I was impressed with him with his game overall. Honestly, I mean, he got some key offensive rebounds, kept some plays alive just with his hustle, his length and athleticism. Definitely jumped off the stream, and you could tell he's just learning the system. 'Cause I think on that play that you referenced, Chris, naturally when we throw it on the block, we monster with and trap the post. But I think just the timing was off because he left his man, the other man would been able to rotate. So that's something they'll be able to coach up. But I definitely like him coming in rotating for whether it's JoJo or Kris or Sinak, depending on foul trouble or what have you.
Agreed. Now JoJo, he's got to stop fouling and stop being reckless. I mean, he's so amped up, and we talk about all the time. We'd rather have to tone down a player than amp him up. But he's got to avoid foul trouble.
Some of his fouls was like ticky tacky. Like one of them, the feet got tangled up. That wasn't really. It looked like a foul to me, and I forgot the other one. But a couple of them was like, ah, come on, ref.
There wasn't consistency because he got 2 loose ball fouls calling him in the first half. Let these fellas play, but he's got to adjust. And that's another thing, part of, I think, to look forward to the rest of this season. This is just November. I think all of us can see glimpses of room for improvement on both ends of the floor for this team, offensively and defensively. I'm satisfied. I like the competition today. I like the matchup. And Thursday won't be the same as in Vegas. Just put it like that.
I would say, going back to JoJo Tugler, and this isn't in particular about this game, but there's a lot of times where the fouls he picks up is because he's out of control and will bump into someone trying to make a rotation. That's how he picks up a lot of his early fouls.
It's activity. It's not for a lack of hustle. That's for sure. Good point, Giovanni.
Yeah.
JoJo plays at 11. Need to get him down to 10. Yeah, good point.
No, great point. That's probably a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, so not all the time should he go for a shot block. It should be just a wall up and go vertical in some instances. But I mean, defensively, he's going to be there. I'm thinking about offensively. I want to see some progression. And now I can understand those first couple of games how Coach Sampson is trying to build his confidence, throwing the ball to him on the block. But you see against better competition, it wasn't no throwing the ball down to him on the block. We throw it to Kris Sinak. And so he still has to develop in that. But more than likely, once he catches it on the road, he has to be a threat to catch and do that not a jump hook, but a little jump forward, jump shot that J1 was so good at. I think that's something that he could be a lead in or whether catching and trying to finish. He's a good passer as well. So I think just little things offensively, especially as he transitions to the next level, that where he's going to get his touches, he has to be able to execute in those roles for sure.
And I thought about you late second half down the stretch when JoJo got the ball on the block, and I forgot who. It might have been Murphy defending JoJo, and Murphy waved off the double team. He's like, no, no need to do this, because JoJo has not yet proven, really, let's say it, worthy to warrant a double team like that, because he's not J1 on that block. J1 was money 1-on-1 for the most part. But earlier in the game, when a double came in JoJo and Kris flashed down the lane, JoJo dropped it off. Kris got a dunk. So that's another area for improvement for JoJo on the offense. That's why I'm saying this team still has room to get better.
And on that play you're talking about, Kris, he had it clean if he just would have drop stepped and went over the smaller defender. It just I don't know if I can't remember if he lost his footing or exactly missed the shot, but I know exactly on the play
But
you're
yeah,
talking about.
he's out of control.
Yeah,
Yeah,
off balance. And
off
I'm seeing the
balance.
comments when they talked about they feel like Kingston has a negative impact on Miles' game. Yes, I definitely wholeheartedly disagree with this. I disagree with this because if it's a similar role with Milos with what he had last year, but Kingston is a much better playmaker, ball handling, decision maker with the ball compared to LJ. To where last year Milos was pretty much the best and the only true ball handling playmaker that we had. So he had the ball in his hands mostly. Now, yeah, you can flip it. I mean, whoever has the ball bringing it up, Milos can still do that, but he just has to be a better catch and shooter because he's getting those wide open looks. So once you start knocking those down, and he still has just as many looks as he had last year, when he's playing in pick and roll and being able to get downhill and make those. So the difference between Milos and Kingston, when I see Kingston knows what he's getting to. When he gets inside off the pick and roll, he knows when to get through his mid range pull up. He knows when to drive inside and try to go in to finish. Milos just is indecisive in there. Am I going to pull up? Am I going to go in for the floater? He had one floater that he kind of shot it, and it wasn't even a floater. It kind of
It was a
afflicted.
wish.
Yeah, versus coming in and actually floating it. So I think that's the part of his game. I think that's what Fluff reference. He needs to get with whoever he trusts and training and be able to get efficient in those because he can get to those spots, but it isn't as fluid, and it seems like he doesn't know has his go to move or go to spots where he can. It doesn't just look fluid versus Kingston. It does.
Milos hit a huge three late in the game, but then after that, he got in the paint. I can see he's kind of trying to post up, but he got indecisive and kicked it out, tried to get to Manuel, and resulted in a turnover. So that's another example of Milos being indecisive. There were too many times down the stretch where Kingston, Los, Emmanuel were not decisive in what they wanted to do. They figured that out. That'll be another plus for this team.
I also think as time progresses, the more the Kingston Fleming is on ball and playmaking, he's gonna create shots that are gonna make Milo's Uzan's life 100 times easier.
Agreed, because Kingston beat his men off the dribble. Then defense has to decide if they're going to collapse on Kingston. If they do, then Kingston kick it out, and then be up to Milos and Emmanuel to knock down those threes.
And then not only that, when Milo's shot is going, they try to run him off the line. Then he can be able to attack a defender closing out on him, and where this getting inside the finish with his big body, or being able to draw a defender and drop it off. But Mr. Big Tex Code, we do have a low post threat. That's Chris Sinak. That's the low post threat. I mean, I know you watched the game, and he's catching it in that mid post. It's not on the block back to the basket. It's catching it in the mid post, spacing up. A couple times he backed his man down and turned and faded. That's the low post threat we got right there.
Yeah, it's not 8 feet from the basket. It's maybe 12, and it's still a money shot.
First play of the game, Kelvin Sampson, they go right to Sinak.
Yep, and that was mid post on a flare. Because Kris, teams will start double teaming Kris when he's in that mid post and start to back down his opponent. So then, if they start to double team on him, then he'll kick it out, and then you open up the offense that way too.
And it was big from Emmanuel because his three that he made was early in the game, and then they trying to run him off the 3-point line, and then he did a good job of being able to create off the dribble. That's the next element of his game, not just being a standstill catch and shoot. And he did a good job with that. In the second half, and he made a big shot in that corner three. That might have been the second half. But I really like what I'm seeing from Manuel today. And I think that decision to put Kingston on Pettiford down the stretch because he's the most athletic. I mean, that's NBA guard against NBA guard.
Yep.
So Emmanuel is stronger, but you want your most athletic guard on him, which that's either Kingston or Hartwell. And so I definitely see why he put him on there in that instance.
I'm
Hunter
loving
Engstrom.
the top 10 matchups, the top 25 matchup, top 10, top 25 matchups. The BYU UConn game last night was great to see. I'm looking forward to seeing Arizona UConn on Wednesday. This Wednesday. This is more what I want to see in non-conference games. The top teams playing the top teams out of conference, because it can't really hurt you. You're going to get better. Iron sharpens iron. There's only so many check games I want to see in non-conference play. I'm looking forward to the Players Era Festival next week. I got the week off from the job. I'm looking forward to watching all those games. So this is what I want to see. The Cougs learned from this one, but they're learning after a win. So this is what I think Dayon wants competition. Andy does as well. The majority of our viewers, we've heard from many alums, oh, why doesn't Kelvin schedule tougher teams than a non-conference? And I'm tired of blah, 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 blah. Well, we got a good game today. And we'll have good ones next week too. This is what we want to see.
Agreed. And to E.I. Crabtree's point, that's it's kind of what I alluded to with Hartwell. I think as he gets his leg under him, which he looks a lot more comfortable today, I think he's going to be that spark offensively off the bench. And as well as McCartney.
Yeah.
Once these shots start to drop, I think that's where a lot of our bench production will come from.
And I think Mercy's going to get a chance to get some run off the bench as well. I mean, Kelvin, once again, he played 9 guys in like the first 12 minutes. You can say it's out of necessity that he's playing the freshmen. They're talented, no doubt. But Coach Sampson is playing the freshmen, and he's allowing them to play through their mistakes, which is a good thing.
In this instant, they don't got no choice. They the best players on the team.
Right.
And today it was clear.
So that is a great sign to me that I think the freshmen, because we heard it, and even Fran Fascilla said it during the broadcast, I think in the first half, how Coach Sampson throughout the offseason was just berating the freshmen, how they're not ready yet, they're not this, they're not going to win games for us, on and on and on. But he's starting to trust them, and he's playing them, and I think we're going to see the benefit of them playing minutes early as the season progresses.
I think Fluff said it best. It was time for some furniture moving.
Yeah.
He was right. He was right. And yeah, he was right.
And I think, I hope it's not an issue, but if some veteran isn't happy with that or doesn't understand it about his furniture being moved, sorry. The objective is to win games, to win the chip. That's the goal all of us want. So let me say this. And this is me talking, okay? If, and I don't know if it is him, but if the freshmen end up taking minutes from Mercy Miller, and deservedly so, okay? Not saying Mercy hasn't deserved it or anything, but if the freshmen prove they're better than him, Isaiah Harwell, et cetera, Chase McCarty, just red shirt, folks, stop really begging or saying, why isn't Coach playing Mercy Miller more?
Nah, let me piggyback off what you're saying, Chris. Because from what I'm seeing from Mercy and how rotation is going, I think he's getting ready to take that Emmanuel role coming up. And I think as what I'm seeing as Isaiah is a McDonald's All-American. I mean, those players do not come off the bench. But with the Kingston extending how he extended and him coming off the injury, and the cards just fell behind they may. But with Mercy getting in, and when he came in, it was for Emmanuel in that role. And I think from just kind of going forward, I can see him getting ready as Emmanuel transitions, him stepping into that role. I think Isaiah's going to come back. Kingston's looking like a one and done. I know it's only 3 games in, but the way he's looking, my goodness.
Yes.
I can only imagine as the games go as the year goes on, just even if he does come back, because he's alluded to coming back. So you never know that the conversation with his family or what have you So if he does come back, I can see Mercy stepping up inserting into that role and being looking to it, being a scorer, catching, shooting, defending, and a lot of the things that Emmanuel does, and then still having Isaiah on that other side down the line. It's just down the line. So I get what you're
Right.
saying, Chris,
Yeah.
and I wasn't trying to cut you off. Or, I'm not
No, no.
disagreeing at all.
No,
I
not at
just
all.
kind of put it into perspective for our fans to kind of understand what Coach Sims is doing. I kind of seen it, and I'm like, okay, I kind of see it. And Fred did mention a go-to guy. He kept reiterating, man, Kingston Fleming, who looks like the go-to guy. He
Mm-hmm.
kept saying, as I would trust it in ball in his hands. And
Yeah.
he was kept saying that, and rightfully so. I mean, everybody was watching the same game, and he's seeing it right there in person. And so, and I was surprised that Kingston, with the confidence it seems like he had, especially when he threw that turnover trying to pass it to Emmanuel,
Yeah.
in which he had a big on him.
He didn't even
And
try to
Coach
attack
said
him.
he didn't
Yeah.
even try to attack him. That was very, very surprising to me. And I think that's going to be the coachable moment. Like, this is now, go get it. And I think Coach Simpson is going to tell him, you got the fluorescent green light,
Not
like he
right.
likes to say.
Yes.
And,
Mhm.
and like, come on.
Yeah. The play was designed for you for a reason. Don't give it up right there. Okay. Yeah.
Real
Teaching
quickly,
moment, learning moment. Yeah.
no, real quickly, just reiterate, everybody, this is Let's Rage Coogs presented by the Saxenian family. A big thank you to Steve Saxenian for being the primary sponsor of not only this edition of Let's Rage Coogs, but each and every single post-game show. And we also like to say thank you to Star Pizza. With multiple locations throughout the Houston area, Star Pizza is your go-to spot before or after the game. Some Star Pizza will hit well tonight after this big victory from Houston against Auburn. Check out their online specials at starpizza.net and follow them on social media at starpizzahou on X and Star Pizza Houston, Texas on Instagram. Big shout out to Mike and Jennifer Pittman. Once again, this is Let's Rage Cougs, the original Houston Cougars post-game show after each and every single football and men's basketball game.
I know I was a little late joining the show. Did y'all mention why Fluff isn't here with us right now? Coach Fluff?
Coach Fluff is in the middle of a game currently. That is why he is not able to join us today.
Championship game.
Correct, championship game. Although not knowing Fluff, I wouldn't be surprised if he joined us from the bench after the game. But that is why he's not here with us. He's trying to bring home a championship for his AAU team.
And he said so the game should be winding down because he said 5:00 Eastern. So if everything's on schedule, it should be about wrapping up. So I'm like you, Andy. If he has a chance, if he's got good Wi-Fi, he's gonna hop on here on Let's Rage Cougs to discuss for sure.
I talked to him at the half, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm watching on my phone right now." And he was like, "So he definitely was locked in and tuned in." But his team, Elk City Elite, is an independent program who told me they beat two teams who are sponsored teams by brands, and they beat them, and they're going to rematch one of them in the championship game. And so, Fluff, yeah, if they get the dub or if he have time, he's going to join us.
For sure. Good luck to him and the squad as well. But I'm just November 16th, teams 4-0. I'm enjoying the journey, man. This team, we said it, I think we hinted at it after the end of how last season concluded, that the potential of this team offensively, NBA prospects, there are more of them on this year's team. This team is going to, I think, beat some people with their offense and not just their defense. And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Truly.
once it all clicks, like this is going to be a really, really, really good team.
And just think, down the stretch, two of our starters wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
And so we finished the game without two starters in the game, probably the last 2 to 3 minutes. And so, I mean, that's big. That's big for Sacco to be able to get that time, Hartwell to be on the floor. And so, I mean, I'm very confident. And I think our seniors will start to make more shots and make timely shots like they did. I don't think I don't see them really leading the team in scoring. I see Kingston and Chris Snack doing that. I think they're probably the first two options, and rightfully so. I think Milo's just probably right there, and Emmanuel is going to continue to be in his role to be able to flow spacing and do what he does.
And think about what Dayon just said. As this season progresses, this team may be led in scoring by two freshmen, but in reserve, you may have a preseason All-American 13-point guard as your third option. I mean, and then an all-conference as your 3A or 2B, whatever you want to say, Emmanuel Sharp. The roles are different. The offense, I think, is going to come and be decisive and get things done and play that Cougar defense. And I just wish, I know it's not going to happen, obviously. I just wish the tournament was a series. 3 out of 5, 4 out of 7, whatever, instead of just, survive and advance kind of thing. But it's not. So you got to win 6 in a row to end the season with that chip.
Even Jamal Shed tweeted that Kingston was the guy during the game. So he see it.
Yeah. I think we all see it. His turnovers in the second half were, I think, more because he wasn't decisive with what he wanted to do with the basketball. And I think he'll learn from that. He'll probably be hard on himself for how he played in the second half than anything else. That's a good thing.
Yep. And in that second half, they ran a double team on him to get the ball out of his hands.
Mhm.
So that lets you know right there. But like Chris just said, I think he's going to really harp in on those turnovers that he had. Two of them was definitely uncostly turnovers that you can't have, especially from your lead guard, point guard, that he's going to really probably talk a lot about. Yeah.
I'm looking at the comments.
Any post-game comments? Any post-game video, anything like that?
They have not sent it out. They haven't emailed it. Looking online, there hasn't been much posted about it either.
Yeah, that was a concern. It's kind of surprising, though, because the arena is where they play the NCAA tournament. So it should be, Wi-Fi capable and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully something will be done for the folks who were not there to hear what the coaches thought about it.
This is why we need more sponsors. So people like Chris, and we can be traveling, and you can be able to get that post game talk. And so sponsors, if you're seeing this, you want to hear from the coach, partner with us.
And Andy,
the only
put it out there, Andy.
Real quick. The only quote that I have post game was from Joseph Dorcher, the Houston Chronicle. I think is the only Houston area guy, at least that I've seen that's there. This is a quote from Auburn coach Stephen Pearl talking about Houston. He said, "I have a ton of respect for what they do. I have a ton of respect for their toughness, their culture, their physicality. But that's what we've been doing the last 8 years. That's what our identity has been too. So respects Houston." You can tell this loss is bothering him a little bit based on that quote too.
But I mean, it's iron sharpening iron. That's what I talked about reference earlier. I want to see, and I think Dayon and Andy and our viewers as well on all the platforms want to see the top teams play the top teams more in non-conference, because we know the Cougs are going to be tested in conference play. We're looking forward to seeing the Cougs in Texas Tech and the Cougs against Arizona and the Cougs against BYU. We're looking forward to that. But it starts in January. What about November and December? But Andy, I'm putting you on. I want you to say it. What's one of your goals you want to do in come conference play?
Oh, the goals come conference play would be to go to Texas Tech and to BYU for those games.
Because those are 2 games on Saturday, right?
Correct. And obviously we know the big time buzz around both of those programs, just a crazy atmosphere. And again, right now you have the number 1 team in the country that's going to be going to those hostile places, and it's going to be a rowdy environment, crazy, hectic. So if you would like to have more post-game coverage from location, like Chris and Dayon have alluded to, help be sponsoring. Big shout out to Giovanni who's helped us out with some super stickers. nothing is too little. Any support helps, and if you are interested in potentially sponsoring those trips and or Kris, like you mentioned, the Big 12 tournament in March from Kansas City, reach out. Let's Rage Coogs at gmail.com, or they can reach out to you as well, Kris, via the Houston Roundball Review.
And also the NCAA tournament. So yeah, we want to be with the team and the conference play, but as well as tournament time, Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament, all the way to that ultimate goal of cutting down the net, and me, Andy, Dayon, and Fluff hugging, crying, celebrating, enjoying a championship with you,
From
the
Indianapolis.
Let's Rage Coogs fans and viewers. Because it'd be great to celebrate with some of our fans and LRC viewers in Indy after we win that chip.
I'm looking. That's the only quote that I've been able to find so far post game. They haven't emailed us. It's interesting. They haven't even emailed us the final stats. So
Yeah, it took a while for Stat Broadcast to make the stats final. So I don't know what's up with that either. That's why I was late to join the show, because I was waiting for the stats to be final.
this is a great point. Just again reiterating how impressive of a win this was at in Birmingham at Legacy Arena. 16,000 Auburn fans yelling, screaming, and the team. It looked again. It's very impressive when you put into perspective that three of their main anchors this season are freshmen, and the way that they handled most of the game. They look like a veteran team that has been together for a minute, which again reiterates the point how exciting and we should be about really the potential of this team and what they're going to look like when we are in February, when we are in March, and then once we get into April as well.
Agreed. And I think someone commented earlier that, and Dayon is right when he said it, but to see Coach Sampson playing the freshmen and trusting them is it's great to see. It is great to see, and they're playing well, and they're going to get better. And that is just one of the overriding things we should all remember, is that these freshmen are going to get better month to month this year, and they're going to win a lot of games, and hopefully in the season with the first championship, men's basketball championship in school history. But I texted the guys at halftime, Kingston is one and done, because that first half, he was sensational. He was sensational. 18, 3-3, and no turnovers. Capped it off with a 3 at the buzzer. He was in control, played well. His ceiling is bright. Chris's ceiling is high as well. I think Isaiah, you can see it as well. On to the next. Who do Cougs have on Thursday?
Houston plays. Give me a second. They play Ryder Thursday, November 20th. That game will be on TNT. So Houston's debut on TNT this season. That's an 8 p.m. tip-off. So they're going to tip off even a little later from the Fertitta Center on Thursday. And then, they have 3 straight games on TNT, because then next Monday they play Syracuse as part of the Players Era Festival in Vegas. And then they play Tennessee, which will also be on TNT. So like the primetime Houston Cougars are going to get a chance to see more of this team.
And more of us, because Let's Rage Coogs postgame show will be on after each of those games.
Yes, sir.
The original postgame show for Houston Athletics.
5 p.m. tip for a Syracuse game. We're exciting. Like you said, Kris, these are going to be great games upcoming for Houston when it comes to competition. And really, the thing that I like about the Players Era Festival last year is that these games, when you get into those neutral site environments, technically today was a neutral site, but that very well was a home atmosphere for Auburn. But you kind of get a taste of what it's like for the NCAA tournament in November, which is always awesome. And I think that goes a long way for the players too, because once they are finding themselves in those situations come March, they've at least have some experience. They've seen it before, and shoot, maybe you could argue it helped them last year. Look where they got last year. So it's always good to have a taste of that as early as possible.
And I hope this series continues, Houston Auburn non-conference, whether it's part of the Battleground 2K or another organizer gets involved. I hope it's because the matchup's been great 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You know who we got to add to a non-conference schedule? We got to get Memphis on a non-conference schedule. We got to get Memphis on a non-conference schedule.
I want to see UConn
that
first.
Yeah.
Memphis fans will love that, and I wouldn't hate it. But as long as they're part of the Players Era Festival, I think Memphis, Houston might happen in Vegas, Dayon. I think it might be part of that because that event's getting so huge. Next year's event, what is it? This year is 18. They're talking like 24, 30 next year. I mean, it's going to be really massive
Jesus.
next year. That's the plan, something like that. Yeah. I think even maybe going 2 weeks. That's been discussed. So for next year in Vegas. But that's a lot of teams in Vegas for
one event,
kind of one event, but really 3 events put together, kind of thing, whatever,
Yeah.
But Dayon said it, Andy. Is there a team you would like to see the Cougs schedule start playing in non-conference?
I agree with both of y'all. Y'all mentioned Memphis and UConn.
Texas.
I think the Longhorns don't want to play Houston.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, they got a first-year head coach. I'm just saying, like going forward, I see, get his recruits in. They're always going to be one of the better teams.
Oh no, I think Sean Miller will be for it. I'm not sure about the higher ups over there want to do that.
I'm not sure why.
the higher ups over there in Austin want to do that.
I'm just saying because we're it's not like football. We're talking. If it was football, I can understand, but basketball, we're established as a better program than them.
Oh, and that's my point. So, that's where I'm going with it. I don't think they want to lose to Houston. They don't even want a competition. That's what I'm saying. They.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I would think the opposite, that they would want to prove that, because it would be better for
Sean Miller would. Yes.
I'm saying even the higher ups in my mind, they would think that. I mean, if we lose to Houston, it's not hurting us. If we beat them, then like, hey, they've been the better team. They could even sell them. I mean, but you never know, though. You never know. You could be. I don't know.
See Anthony and Mr. Big Texco say Duke. That'd be cool.
North Carolina. I didn't think about that. North Carolina.
UNC would be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Especially if it was a home and home. But
that's
the thing.
Area.
I was texting back and forth with one of my best friends.
St. John's would be another
last night, because we both said UConn. I don't think either Coach Sampson or Coach Hurley would agree to home and home. Neutral site, MTE kind of stuff, but and same with probably North Carolina.
UNC. Yeah.
UCLA might, because Coach Cronin's relationship with Coach Sampson. That might be doable.
What about Gonzaga?
I think that's doable. I mean, there's so many options. And this is just an example of where the Houston Cougars men's basketball program is. It's nationally relevant that we are coming up with other nationally relevant, many of them blue blood programs that we want to see the Cougs play in November or December. Fantastic. I thought about Florida. Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to see one of the games in the first week of the season, a rematch of the championship game. So this year that would have been Houston, Florida. Just like you could set it aside. Next year, we all know that.
That's what the NBA does a great job of.
That's what I want to see. Now, whether it's in Vegas, a neutral site, or whatever, the fans know. Well, we know these two teams are going to be playing each other just open the season on opening night on Monday, Friday, whatever it is. We know I would love to see that. Anybody heard from Fluff? Coach Fluff?
I have not heard from Fluff. Sorry, I don't know why my audio cut off there for a second. I have not heard from Fluff, and also we've gone blank when it comes to any post game emails too. So I wonder how quick of a turnaround they had getting out of the arena.
I'm disappointed. I mean, because there was post game comments after the exhibition game against Mississippi State. That was available to us, so I'm not sure what's. I mean, I can't speak out of turn. I don't know. I'm not there, so why we don't have post game comments, any quotes, video, anything.
I personally like watching the game. Like Chris said, Kingston looks like a one and done, but I can see a lot of scenario where he's come back. So when you think about a lot of guards, particularly point guards, who come out early and then they're in that transitional phase to where they don't get many minutes that first year, it may pay some down. So I could think, especially coming from the family who has a daughter who's going to Duke, one of the top players in Texas as well. It doesn't seem as if from afar that they'll try to rush him out because he mentioned coming back. Coach
He
Sampson
did.
mentioned him coming back, so I can see him even playing really well this year and then taking up even another level next year and solidifying himself even a top 5, top 3 pick. And so I can definitely see scenarios where he come back for sure. But we just kind of mentioning how he looked so far through three games.
Yeah. I mean, if he keeps playing like how he's played 4 games in, I think he's definitely a lottery pick. And it'll be hard to, in my opinion, I think it'd be hard for him to come back if he's a guaranteed lotto. But we'll see. Barely 4 games in. Got a long way to go.
Yeah, the scouts and the draft folks
Yeah,
are
I'm saying
about
3,
him.
but I'm not
Yeah.
not including the exhibition. But yeah, my bad.
But it's just he said it already. Coach Sampson has said it. And then Kingston, I think, surpassed at least my expectations so far in this young season. Now, if he keeps doing this, if he's a lottery pick, that's different than first round. If he's a lottery pick, he's gone. Okay. Late first round, borderline, get some NIL money, other kind of stuff like that. He could come back. But he's playing so well. Who knows? He's playing himself into, potentially legit one and done discussion. So that bodes well for, I think, the teams for sure.
Also, UH just sent out the email. They do not have post-game press conference due to technical difficulties. We have no post-game comments.
Oh, man. Which is go back to what Dayon said minutes ago. Some well-to-do supporter of Les Rage Coogs, Houston Cougars athletics, you avoid these technical issues. Me, Andy, Dayon, we could be there with the team and provide you with our post-game video, comments, whatever, in the future. Make it happen. Let's put that out there in the universe. Let's make it happen. If not non-conference this year, it's kind of unlikely, let's get Andy on the road for conference play. Let's get all 4 of us at the Big 12 tournament. Let's get all 4 of us at the NCAA tournament. If nothing else, let's get the 4 of us in Indy for the Final Four as we watch and celebrate the Cougs win the championship.
Let's put the email up one more time, just in case. Feel free to reach out, let'sragecoogs@gmail.com. You can reach out to any one of us individually. We're, to quote the Brent Yormark, open for business. And with that being said, once again, if we go back to the final stats, Houston comes away with a 73-72 victory in Birmingham over Auburn. Kingston Fleming's the leading scorer for the Cougars, 22 points. on 8 of 13 shooting, 7 assists, 5 rebounds in the win. Kris and Mac had 18 points, 9 rebounds, did foul out. Milo Uzan had 11 points. Jojo Tugler had 4 points and also fouled out, and he had 7 rebounds to go along with his final set line. And Emmanuel Sharp, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists in the victory for Houston. For Auburn, it was Keyshawn Hall that led the way for them in scoring with 20 points. Todd Pettiford finished with 15 points. And credit to Houston's defense and how well they did on him. Clicked on his stat. He missed the last 4 shots that he took. So the Cougars did a great job kind of locking him down the stretch. And that's one of the reasons why they came away with a victory.
They got it done. It wasn't pretty down the stretch offensively, but it looked good down the stretch defensively in those closing moments. Get the win and improve to 4-0. Ryder, you're next.
That being said, that's pretty much going to do it. Kris, Dayon, y'all got any final thoughts?
I'll say this, and Dayon can wrap it up. If you haven't seen it, heard it, read it, Houston Cougars football this Saturday game against TCU, 3:00 start, 3:00 p.m.
On national television.
Senior Day, it's on Big Fox. But it's senior day for the Cougs. Be at the game. Be at the stadium. Root on the football team so they can go 9-2.
Football team.
So they're ranked in both polls, AP and coaches poll.
Maybe even in the CFP, we shall see. Yeah, they're 24th in the coaches poll, 25th in the AP poll.
Either way, we're going to do Let's Rage Coogs after that game, but join us on Thursday late. As Andy said, the game against Ryder tips off at 8:00. Part of TNT Sports. Yep. So Let's Rage Coogs on Thursday, talking hoops, recapping a Cougs win, and the Let's Rage Coogs on Saturday. We're going to recap another Cougs win in football. And then join us Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for more Let's Rage Cougs as the Cougs go to Vegas.
Thanksgiving week, Cougs basketball. It's a great time to be just in the world of sports. This is the best time of the year because all these sports are all going on at the same time.
And spend time with Let's Rage Cougs. And one more time, Andy, put up that email.
Yes, sir. One more time, letsragecougs@gmail.com, all lowercase like you see on the screen if you're listening to our audio-only platforms. It's letsragecougs, all lowercase @gmail.com. Open for business. All right, Dan, I'll toss it over to you. Final thoughts and it closes out, sir.
Man, I'm excited about the rest of the season. Excited ongoing this journey with you guys. I think as the season goes on, game by game, goes to continue to get more defined. And I think this team will be able to beat you in a plethora of ways. And like Kris said earlier, I think offensively, they really have a high ceiling. We talked about defensively how we think we could be one of the better teams, but I think offensively that they have a potential to be even more potent offensive teams that we've seen from Houston in a long time. So another good win, this time against a top 25 team. Ryder, you're next. Get ready for this BTA. It's going to get ugly. And as always, you go cool.